what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make the Chum bucket. I know this thing has been a long time coming, and by the way, just in case you have any more SpongeBob related needs, feel free to check out the card system and the description below for a link to my SpongeBob builds playlist. Now that all of that's out of the way, if you want to make the Chum bucket, here's what you're going to need. Grab yourself some spruce wood planks and some wooden fence. Also, grab some glass pane, some dark grey wool, some light grey wool, and finally grab yourself some dark blue wool. And once you have each one of those materials right there, and once you've figured out where you want to make it, I'll be making it right here, you're going to want to kick off your Chum bucket with this sequence of blocks in a row on the floor. Do 2 dark grey wool, 1, 2, followed by 2 spruce wood planks, 1, 2, then leave a gap of 1 on the floor going right, then do 2 more spruce wood planks, then finish this off by doing 2 dark grey wool, 1, 2. So you want to end up with a row that should look like this, and this is actually where the front of the Chum bucket's going to be. This is the entrance, as a matter of fact. Once you've got that taken care of, you now want to take a bird's eye view to what you've just made. So you're just looking down on it, like this. Once you're looking down on it, you want to come to the left hand side where we have this first dark grey wool block, and from this block with your dark grey wool you want to do 3 up left diagonals like this, 1, 2, 3. You then, from this third up left diagonal, want to do a row of 8 dark grey wool going up, or going towards where the back of the bucket's going to be. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then, from this 8th block, do 3 up right diagonals. So that's 1, 2, 3. Then go right of this third upright diagonal by 8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then from this 8th block, do 3 bottom right diagonals, so that's 1, 2, 3. Then go down from this third bottom right diagonal by 8, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then connect everything together by doing 2 bottom left diagonals, so that's 1 and 2, to give you a nice circular shape like this. Kinda looks like the outline of an astronaut's helmet or something. Once you've reached this point right here, this is what you want to do next. So you now want to take out your light grey wool, and you want to do a row of 5 light grey wool on top of each one of these dark grey wool blocks, except for these ones that we have at the entrance. You want to leave the entrance alone for now. So like this, on top of each one of these dark grey wool blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with your light grey wool, and you just want to go all the way around the base of your Chum bucket, and you just want to build up these rows of 5 light grey wool, except again you don't want to touch the entrance just yet. The entrance is a little special since we of course have to do the doors, and we've got to do the glass and the handles and all of that stuff, so we'll just leave that alone for now, and we'll just build up the walls of our Chum bucket, or at least the very base of the walls. We've actually got a couple of more sections to do, so we're going to continue adding on these layers of 5 light grey. We're actually quickly reaching the entrance here. We've only got the 2 little diagonals to do now, so we've just got this one and this one. So what you want to end up with once you've added on all of your layers of light grey is something that should look exactly like this. Once you've added on all of those layers of light grey, this is what you want to do next. We actually focus on the entrance here. So on top of this left dark grey wool block that we have here, and on top of the right one, you want to add a layer of 5 light grey wool. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and on top of this right one as well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You then want to take out your dark grey wool, and on top of these slightly inside dark grey walls, you want to do the same thing with your dark grey, so add 2 rows of 5 dark grey just going up, like that. You then want to connect each one of those rows together, top block, to kind of like form an archway shape, like this. Once you've done that, this next bit is kind of difficult to explain, but really easy to see what you have to do, so I'm just going to fill in this little center part here, this little squarish shape, and then I'm just going to show you guys what you have to do. So with your spruce wood planks, you then just want to fill the center part in here like this, and it kind of looks like an A with two eyes or something. It kind of looks like a face, a really scared face, but you just want to form this shape with your spruce wood planks. Once you've done that, you then want to place glass pane in the two eyes here, and then you want to place a single fence underneath each one of those two windows like this. And those two spaces right in the center, those are, well, obviously they're supposed to be blank because that's where the door's supposed to be. Once you've got the entrance taken care of, you've actually completed one of the harder parts of the chum bucket, believe it or not. So once you've reached this point right here, this is what we're going to do next. We're now building up the shape of the bucket. So you want to come to the top of your bucket, and with your light grey wool, one block higher and one block outwards in relation to the top of your bucket, you want to do a circle of light grey wool that just kind of like goes all the way around the top of your bucket. And this is one of those parts where it's kind of difficult to put into words and explain, but it's one of those parts that's really easy to see what you actually have to do. It should be fairly straightforward. So I'm just adding on the circular shape now with the light grey wool, and I'll show you guys what it should look like. So just to give you guys a top view, this is what you want to do with your light grey wool. One block higher, one block outwards, we're just slightly expanding the bucket like this. Once you've got that single layer of light grey wool, you now want to add 4 layers of light grey on top of your circular shape. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And all the way around, just as we did at the base. So just add on your layers of light grey wool. And remember, that's 4 of them. So on top of each one of those light grey wool blocks, add 4 layers of light grey. So we're just going to go all the way around the midsection of the bucket. This is the middle part. We only have to do this one more time, and it is actually pretty much the exact same deal. It's once we've added on all of these layers, we'll then be expanding it again by 1 row, and then we'll be adding a load of layers, and then that's pretty much the last of it that we'll have to do. Then we'll just have to do a little bit of detail work, and then we'll pretty much be finished, guys. It's a really simple build, so we're just about 3/4 done with this bucket. As a matter of fact, we're over 3/4. We've just got a little bit left to do with the bucket now, guys. We've just got these diagonals to do. There only used to be 2 diagonals. We've multiplied. We're on 3 now. So this is what the center part of the bucket wants to look like. Once you've added on all of your layers of light grey wool, I apologize, not dark grey, confusing. Once you've added on all of your layers of light grey wool, that is what you want to have. And once you've reached this point right here, this is what you want to do next. So come all the way up to your now top of the bucket and expand it out again. So 1 block higher, 1 block outwards in relation to the top of your bucket with your light grey wool. You just want to add an extra layer of light grey. So you just want to have a slightly larger circular shape going around the top of your bucket. So the exact same thing that we've done 1 time already, and don't worry guys, this is pretty much the last time, so we're just going all the way around, just expanding it a little bit, and I think that we've just about done it as a matter of fact, guys. So have we? Yeah, we have. So what you want to end up with is something that should look a little bit like that, nice and simple. Once you've added the circular shape, we now have the layers to add. So on top of this circular shape, you now want to add 6 layers of light grey. So on top of each one of these light grey blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So go all the way around the top of your bucket and add 6 layers of light grey wool on top of each one of those light grey wool blocks. So that is the front done. Now we've got all of the side diagonals to do. This is probably the most time-consuming part of this tutorial, just building up the layers. There's nothing difficult about it or anything, it's just that it does take quite a while to do. So we're on the left-hand side now, we're just building up the light grey. Just about to do this back corner, and then I think we're just about halfway done. What we have left to do after this, guys, so after we've finished building up these layers of light grey wool, we'll then add the lip to the bucket. I believe that's what it's called, at the top of the bucket where it kind of overhangs slightly. We just have to add the lip to the bucket, which is also really easy to do. Then we have to do the handle, then the fist, then that's actually it. Then we'll be done. There's not much left to do. It is really quite simple. It's just time consuming, like I keep saying. It's just time. So, just adding on these layers of light grey wool. We're still working on the sides, even though we've been at this for quite a while now, but we've just got these diagonals to do here, and what you'll want to end up with is something that should look a little bit like this. And there you go. We finally built up the shape of the bucket. Once you've reached this part right here, this is what you want to do next. So take out your dark grey wool, and for the final time at the top of your bucket with your dark grey wool, you just want to do a layer of dark grey wool that is 1 block higher and 1 block outwards in relation to the top of your bucket. So just go all the way around the top of your bucket with your dark grey wool, just as we've done a couple of times before with your light grey wool, and you just want to expand. And like I said, I think this part of the bucket is actually called the lip of the bucket. I might have made that up. It's highly possible. I'm not a bucket salesman. I'm not a bucket expert. I don't sell buckets for a living. I don't manufacture them. I have no clue. So we're just adding on all of these dark grey wool blocks. And we've just about finished, actually. So what you want to end up with is something that should look a little bit like this, just to get kind of like a diagonal view for you guys. Once you've reached this point right here, we can now move on to the next bit. So we now have the fun of making the handle. Come all the way over to the left hand side of your bucket. In front of this 3 middle blocks of your row of dark grey wool, in front of these 3 middle blocks in your row of dark grey wool, place a row of 3 light grey coming out of the left hand side of your bucket, like this. Underneath these 3 middle blocks of your row of dark grey, do 2 rows of 3 dark grey wool coming down your bucket, like this. Take out your light grey wool and place light grey all the way around those dark grey walls that you placed, except you don't want the light grey to connect at the bottom corners like that. So you want to form a shape which should look exactly like this. Once you've done that on the left hand side of your bucket, you now want to do the exact same thing on the right hand side. So coming over to the right hand side, in front of these 3 middle blocks, place light grey wool. Underneath them, do 2 rows of 3 dark grey wool. Then with your light grey, just go all the way around the dark grey wool that you placed, like that. Once you have that on the left and right hand side of the bucket, move all the way back over to the left hand side and take this middle block in your row of grey, the very middle block on the left hand side, this one right here, and with your light grey go up on top of it by 3 with your light grey. So that's 1, 2, 3. Then from this third block, this top block in your row of light grey, we'll do 5 upright diagonals with your light grey. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take out your dark blue wool and go right of this 5th upright diagonal by 9. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then do a single light grey wool. From this light grey, do 5 bottom right diagonals. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then connect that 5th bottom right diagonal back down to the top of your bucket to give you this shape. This is the handle. We now have to make the fist. Once you've reached this point right here, take out your dark blue wool, and on top of this row of 9 dark blue, stack 3 rows of dark blue on top of it. So that's 1, 2, 3, and we now just have to do 1, 2, and 3. Once you have your 3 rows, you then want to do a row of 7 on top of that top row of 9. So just cut 1 off of each end, do a row of 7 on top of the 9. Then do a row of 5 on top of the 7. Like that. So just again, cut 1 off each end, there you go. Once you've done that to the top of your row of 9, come underneath your row of 9 and add another row of 9, just coming down underneath, like this. Then finish this off by doing a row of 7 underneath that row of 9 that you placed. So you want to end up with a shape that should look like this. Once you form this shape, you now want to kind of just bolster that shape by adding a layer of dark blue behind it and add a layer of dark blue in front of it. So I'm starting with the front here, I'm just adding a layer of dark blue in front of it just to make it look a little bit more 3D. And we'll be doing the exact same thing on the back as well. So we're just adding a layer of dark blue on the front. Now we can come to the back here. Add a layer of dark blue on the back, and then we can start shaping the fist a little more. So, on the back of the fist, we're just making it a little bit more 3D again. We're adding another shape on the back of it. But for the front of the fist, we're actually adding a thumb that grips the bucket. So, once you've added a layer of dark blue on the back and the front of your fist, you now, on the back of your fist, want to form this shape. So this shape is actually really difficult to explain, but I'm going to give it a go. So starting at the bottom of your fist, you want to add a layer of 5 dark blue in front of the bottom of your fist. You then want to do 4 layers of 7 dark blue on top of that layer of 5. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, and 4. You then want to do another layer of 5. Then do a layer of 3, like this. So starting from the bottom, you have a layer of 5, then 4 layers of 7, layer of 5, layer of 3, just like that, and you'll form this circular shape, like this. Once you've done that on the back, you now want to come to the front, and you want to form this shape. So, this shape is actually kind of difficult to explain, but it's really easy to see what you actually have to do. So you just want to form this shape. It's just like 2 layers of 7s, and then you've just got that layer of 2 on top of that top row of 7, just like that. And that's just the thumb for the chum bucket. It's just the big giant fist, and that's the thumb that grips the bucket. Once you've done that on the front and the back, we now just have a little bit to do at the top of the fist here. So this is what you want to do at the top of the fist, and you know what, this is actually difficult to explain as well. So it's kind of a similar process that we did for the bucket, where we were kind of just like expanding it in certain points, except we are doing the same thing, except we're just not like connecting the corners. So you just want to leave the corner block off of the rectangular shape that you form from tracing around like the top of the bucket, like this. So you just want to, in total, end up with a shape that should look exactly like that. Nice and simple. Once you've got that taken care of, all we have to do now to fully complete the bucket is just fill in the top. And this is kind of optional, to be honest with you. So I'm now just going to fill in the top of the bucket with light grey wool, just so that this could be used as a house or as a chum bucket if some of you guys have a SpongeBob world out there and you kind of just like trying to recreate it. I'm pretty sure that the actual chum bucket has a roof, so I'm just going to fill in the roof, and then that's actually all we had to do. That's the chum bucket 100% done. There's nothing left to do after this, so I'm just going to fill in the roof with light grey wool, and that will be that. We'll start from the other side since it's starting to get ever so slightly tricky. So we'll just fill in the roof with light grey, and then I might... You know what, I always do this. Once I've filled in the roof, once I've shown you guys what it should look like once it's been 100% fully built, I'll probably whisk away a little bit. I'll probably surround it with sand. I might add a little bit of a path. I might also add some flowers here and there. Since it is SpongeBob, we want some nice colourful flowers here and about the place, and I'll show you guys what the chum bucket can look like from the outside if you add a little bit of work into it. But as you guys can see, the top of the bucket is now completely filled in. It's nice and dark in there now, and that is the last thing that we had to do, guys. That is the 100% structure of the chum bucket. There's nothing left to do at this point. What I am now going to do, tutorial over, by the way. I won't be showing you how to do this next bit. Not that it's difficult at all. You guys would be able to figure it out just by looking at it. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to whisk away for just a second. I'm going to alter the outside of the chum bucket ever so slightly, and then I will be back once that's finished. So back in a second, guys. Alright guys, so as you can see, I have finished messing about with the Chum bucket ever so slightly, and before I talk about what I've done here, I just want to address the Chum bucket help video that I uploaded, well, I guess it was probably sometime last week now. So I made a video asking you guys for help, what should I change about the Chum bucket? And you guys came up with 3 main things. You said that I should make the fist a little bit more 3D, which I did. You said that I needed to add a sign in front of the Chum bucket, like actually on the Chum bucket. As you guys know, in big red letters on the front of the top of the Chum bucket, it says, well, Chum bucket in big red letters. It turns out that there's no real way to actually make that happen, or at least I couldn't figure out a way to make that happen and make it look good. I even tried to write in like a big giant C and a B, just in red wool, at the top of the Chum bucket. You can see that big outward face there in front. Doesn't work, it doesn't look good, so I decided to leave it off. Also, you said that I needed to add a window/windows. I wanted to do that I was going to do as well, along with the fist, but I don't know where the windows are. I tried so hard to find alternate views of the bucket to see where windows would be, and I couldn't figure it out. I have no clue. I don't know whether on the back, whether they're on the sides. I don't think they're on the sides. There must be one on the back at the very least, but I don't know. So I've left those off, so I guess it's not 100% completely accurate. And in regards to the outside of the Chum bucket that you guys have been staring at for a little while now, so the outside of the Chum bucket, all I've added, a path. I dug a area of 10 all the way around the Chum bucket, replaced it with sand, and I added some rocks to the Chum bucket as well, just here and about the place. For whatever reason, there's a load of rocks around the Chum bucket if you actually take a look. There's a load of rock formations and they've got coral on them and what have you. There's actually not too many flowers, and that's why I haven't really tried particularly hard to add any around the Chum bucket. I could have added some really, on the very edges, but I decided not to. I decided to leave it kind of like dark, dim and grey, so all I've done, added the sand, added the rocks, added the path, and obviously I've not done the interior. The interior really isn't big enough for like a proper interior, and on top of that, you guys know that I hate that stuff, so there we go. We've been staring at the Chum bucket for quite a while. I've been talking for quite a while. We'll probably cut this off here. Hopefully you guys have managed to make the Chum bucket no problem. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video. A lot of you guys keep asking for Sandy's treehouse. I'm not entirely sure whether I'll be doing that or not. That might be one step beyond, but I might look into it. I might see if I should do it.